So I want to make two statements because I want everybody to clearly understand this is about creating a task force. The task force will then do everything that you're asking, Alderwoman and Alderman. If you say that these services are available on the county level, then we would encourage you to be on the task force. So when those meetings are being held, we know which direction to go to bring those services back to Calumet City. Right now, we would be on the forefront of doing this for our community, our employees and our elected officials. It is not an easy thing to ask anybody for help. It is even harder when you're being abused. As a survivor of rape, I see some things from certain people when I talk to them or when I see them. And I know when people are crying out but may not have the words to say, help me. If we create this task force and we create methods to confidentially request help, it is not something that will be done overnight. Step one is saying, yes, I, in my elected capacity, believe that this is something that we can do. Step two would then be to meet and bring people on board. Licensed therapists, elected official, community members, maybe a certain percentage or a certain number from each ward to say this is being done here, this is being done there. Then we can reach out to Thornton Township and say, hey, the referendum just passed for mental health taxes. How can Calumet City employees get some of that? Or Cook County, we want to be at the table when you're talking to the city of Chicago because our residents matter, our employees matter. So this is a larger scheme of things, but for tonight, the ordinance before you is just saying, hey, yes, let's start a task force so we can answer these questions down the line. If we never started, we never have the answers. And I thank you all for your questions because we need to know what direction we need to go in. This is very important. March of 2024, my cousin was killed in an act of domestic violence. His girlfriend stabbed him right in the chest. She fled, was later charged, and brought back here to Illinois to face what she had done. How many men are coming to work every day suffering in silence? That's not our business, but it is our duty to provide a way for them to report. There is a gap. Too often we have harassment policies, things that happen within the workplace, but we don't have any protections for what happens, the violence that happens outside of the workplace, but finds its way inside. And that's what happens when we have an irate spouse come up. He may be aiming for his wife and shoot the lady next to her. We have an opportunity to prevent tragedy before it happens. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. We tell our charge kids that all the time. And we have an opportunity to close the gap and be proactive instead of reactive when it's time to plan their funeral. Are there any other questions?
I have a question. You may not know the answer to this offhand, but I heard you earlier say that for every woman there's only $2 allocated to each of them. If we created the task force, if we were to go to the county and the township, what is the ask? What is the right number to bring us to whatever that whole number is?
Right, and I think I've identified what that whole amount is, what resources and what capacity, you know, this community, or what, how you guys want to act as far as being responsive to your community. I will say, and that determines that, right? And then you can easily see in the budget what was set aside through the JAC for domestic violence. So they have a whole budget, and then you can kind of follow from there, whole budget, and then you can kind of follow from there. And that's what I took that number, right? And then based upon the number of women that's in the Southland region alone, and just divided that was easy math for me. And to really sum it up, it's not enough investment. And then this is the other thing, a lot of the COVID dollars are drying up for within Cook County. So they're going to actually see a big dip going into the next budget season. And so that's why it would be advantageous for you guys to establish something like this now, so you can start doing like the legwork, even with the township, right? And see what discretionary funding that's set aside for different things, you know, that could be, again, I would know it would.
So I'm going to interject and say the ask has to be at least $200 per person, because that's how much it is to house an offender.
Hello.
We are paying $2 to help a victim and $200 to house their offender.
So I think championing that and that relationship, I think that would be amazing as well. But
Yeah.
to answer your question.
Thank you so much. And then I know next week is a busy week, but I do plan to be there in those meetings. So Calumet City is at the table when they do start talking about funding and resources. What I would like to do is just get a consensus from the council to move this, to approve this on the next meeting agenda, whether that be a regular council meeting or Alderman Tillman's Ordinance and Resolution Committee meeting. Is that going to be a special meeting?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay, so whichever one comes first. Is it okay if I just ask for the consensus, or should, okay, I'll go first. I say yes to moving it forward for an approval at the next meeting, whichever comes first, only because there is a need. I am exhausted at turning on the news and seeing women that look like me doing everything right by what we have as far as state statute everywhere, and still losing their lives. I can only imagine not knowing who was downstairs taking water bills, not knowing who's over at Public Works going in people's houses. But what if they had somebody that was abusing them just show up to that window and further the abuse at work? What if when a Public Works guy goes to a house to give assistance, there's some woman there with a knife, like how the woman did my cousin, ready to take their life just for being on their job, serving the public. I give my consensus vote of yes to move it forward. Alderman Tillman?
I don't believe I'm on the committee, but yes.
Well, and so you don't, if you're not on the committee, you don't have to answer, but I am interested in what everybody thinks, be it committee or not. We're here as a whole, so it's important. But thank you. Alderman Williams?
Yes.
Thank you. Alderman Gardner?
Yes.
Thank you. Alderwoman Nelson.
It's a yes for me, but I want to make sure that the language lines up properly, to make sure that we will not be the middleman or to direct them to where they need to go once they get the resources or whatever is set up, to make sure that we're not liable for anything. It's a yes, I just want to make sure the language covers us. So to get into the next process, which that would be the judicial system.
Absolutely. And in this task force, we are not in it at all. There's an outside agency. We just meet with them to make sure that our people are covered and they are doing it responsibly, because no matter who sits in these seats 10 years from now, they're going to be responsible for the people that we have to govern, that we work with, that represent this city. So yes, thank you for that too. Alderwoman Phillips.
That would be a yes for me.
Thank you. Alderwoman Harvey.
You want
I'm
to
gonna
say one
take
first,
Shalice.
Madam?
I'm sorry.
That will be a yes.
Thank you.
Proud of y'all. That's all I have. Did you want